Life happens to all of us. And when it does, it sometimes means we have to give up some of the things we love. Well, maybe we don't have to give them up forever. Maybe life just requires that we set them down for a while. For me, that was outdoor cycling and yoga. I didn't stop loving them, it's just that life and caretaking interrupted that season of my life. And one day I realized years had passed. So this week I'm wondering something. What happens when you go looking for pieces of yourself that you thought were gone? Welcome back to The Simple Pleasures. I'm Laurie. This summer, I'm spending time discovering new things or rediscovering things that I used to love, now that my season of caretaking is behind me. This week, I'm seeing if those old loves have been waiting for me. Years ago, both cycling and yoga became casualties of a season when my attention belonged somewhere else. I don't regret that season, but especially at this stage in my life, when mobility, balance, and exercise are critical, I'm eager to catch up with these two former passions of mine. What's something that you once loved that you've been meaning to return to? Let us know down in the comments. Today, I am meeting up with an old friend that goes by the name of Yoga. It has been 7 years since I practiced yoga on a regular basis. I miss it dearly, and I truly enjoyed it. And I can literally remember the last time I was in my regular yoga class and I received an emergency phone call from one of my family members to let me know that my dad had had a medical crisis and needed help. So I left that yoga class and drove home, packed a bag, and headed down the highway to help take care of him. And that just created a series of events where he needed constant caretaking through the end of his life. And so I dropped my membership to that yoga studio because I was out of town so much and I wasn't able to participate anymore. And over the years, my yoga instructor left that place of employment and is no longer teaching. And so I've just been wanting to return to the practice of yoga. It is so good for women our age, with balance, with mind-body connection, with strength training. It truly has so many physical, emotional, spiritual connections that I'm looking forward to remaking. And over the weekend, I posted on my personal Facebook page asking my local friends if they had any recommendations for yoga studios in our area. And I'm willing to travel however long it takes for me to get to the right studio for me. And I found it interesting that two of my friends recommended the same studio, and it just happens to be about 5 minutes from my front door. So I am giving that a try today. Since it's my first time in this studio, I probably won't film because I don't want to violate anybody else's privacy. If I get a chance to take a couple of shots, I will share that with you when I wrap up the class. But I'm just looking forward to a slow entry process. So today I picked a gentle yoga class, which is super good for beginners. And so I don't want to overwhelm myself by taking a class that's so far out of my level of practice that I won't enjoy it, or I'll leave kind of feeling bad about myself. And we don't want to do that when we're trying to start a new habit. And I'm hopeful that this turns out to be the place for me, because if so, it's so close to my house. But I do want to explore just a few, just so I can kind of get a feel for the vibe of the instructor and for the vibe of the studio and kind of what their protocols are. So I plan to do a little exploration around that this week. I will report back. We'll see you in a minute.
A few moments later.
Well, I just finished that yoga class, and there were quite a few positives about the experience. It definitely was very educational and not too strenuous, which was great. I learned a lot, which was great. I reconnected with my love for yoga, which was the whole purpose of this exercise. I think when you are searching for the right fit in a yoga instructor or studio, it's probably very similar to searching for a college or a church. It sometimes takes a few samplings before you find your right tribe and your right people. So I'm not sure that was it. I think I will return again occasionally, but I don't see this as a class that I will be taking on a very regular basis. I found the instructor to be very sarcastic and talked the entire time. And I prefer a little instruction, a little help, guidance, but then to let myself connect with my body, to build that mind-body connection. And when somebody is talking the entire class, it's hard to do that. So I think I'm going to keep searching. But again, I did find it to be a beneficial way to spend an hour of my time, and I did learn some things that I will carry with me. But my search for the perfect fit is going to continue. While I enjoyed cycling and yoga when I was younger, they're both great forms of exercise for this season of my life, building strength, flexibility, and balance. Good morning. It is a new day and a new opportunity to find a good fit in a yoga instructor and yoga studio. You know, every yoga class I have ever taken has been so different from one another. So what I'm searching for in particular is a yoga instructor in particular who just has a gentle guidance demeanor, can help with modifications, can help me make sure that I'm staying in alignment, and doing poses that aren't ultimately going to hurt my body. And when I practice yoga at home, I don't have that second set of eyes to say, "Ooh, you know, you're overcompensating here." I'm somebody who can look at me objectively and help me make some modifications. So smaller class size is something that I'm looking for, and finding that yoga teacher with that gentle guidance and suggestions for modifications for my lower back pain and other issues that prevent me from doing certain poses. So hoping for a connection today, but I just realized that I forgot to bring my water. And I seriously doubt that it's appropriate for me to bring my crispy Diet Coke into the yoga studio. So I will go without today, but I will report back after class and let you know how I liked it.
A few moments later.
That was such a wonderful experience. I loved it so much. Not only did I really feel good in the presence of the instructor, it was all of the people who made me feel welcome when I arrived, and the class itself was exactly what I needed. And I had forgotten how yoga can make you feel really emotional. It is the letting go, the stretch, the relaxation of your muscles and of your nervous system, and that brings to the surface a lot of emotions that maybe you have been holding in. I mentioned before about my very last regular yoga class when I got that emergency phone call and had to go take care of my dad for a long period of time, and haven't really had a release since then, and that was 6-7 years ago. So yeah, all of those emotions came to the surface and really caught me off guard. But I definitely found this place and this experience, which is exactly what I needed. And I noticed when I visited their website last night that you can buy a beginner pass or a newcomer pass, and for one certain amount of money, then you can sample all the classes you want to sample in a 2-week period. And I plan to do that to just learn about other experiences and learn about other teachers. But that right there, what I just took was exactly what I needed. And it's early in the morning, and I was just thinking how that sets you off on the best possible footing to start your day, and how I feel so good and no longer tight, and I feel aligned in not just physicality, but in my mind and in my spirit. And isn't that why we do yoga to begin with? There were so many inspirational moments throughout the entire class. Obviously, I really connected with the instructor, and she was inspiring, but also the people in the class were inspiring. I would say most of the people in the class were my age or older. And there was one woman in particular so welcoming to me. She was the first person to welcome me to class and really made me feel like I belonged there. And she was probably, I'm going to guess, 75, mid 70s. And just watching her flow with the yoga and watching her balance and her strength, she just motivated me so much. I want to be able to move through life like that when I reach that age, and still be able to do all of the things that I love to do now. And this is why we yoga. It's so special, and I really am glad that I didn't have to keep going through multiple days this week until I found my yoga home. I will probably sample other yoga studios just out of convenience, but this one feels like a good fit for me, so I'm definitely going to come back, and appreciate you guys being here to see my journey in that respect. Woo! When I'm on the bike, I also get to spend more time out in nature, which brings me so much joy. On one of my bike rides this week, I got to spend an afternoon riding with my daughter. We couldn't remember a single time we had ever ridden bikes together. I think we both grinned ear to ear that day, and we promised to make this a regular date. Now, she's a mother who also works full-time, so her free time is limited, but I will take whatever I can get. And I'm so excited I found a yoga studio where I instantly felt like I belonged. Returning to these two loves got me thinking. I'm not trying to return to the woman I used to be. I'm becoming a new version of her. Does that make sense? Thanks for being along for the ride, friends. I'll see you in the next one.